Jesus Christ, you people suck.
Wow.
Wolverine wanted to be just...
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
All right, it's time for another week of N4G Radio. This is episode 716 for September 26th, 2022. Welcome to the final week of September and the first week of fall. On the show this week, we got the Wombat.
A word up.
Word. We got Terroot.
What's up? He put me on the spot. I couldn't think of like a 90s hip hop song to match what he said.
You could have sang Party all the time.
Oh, yeah, could have. Yeah, that anniversary. Sure, could have did that.
You went last, and there's only three of us, so you...
I know. I had the most time. It totally is on me. 100%.
But anyway, yeah, it's crazy. Like, we're all from the same area, and like literally, what was it, Wednesday? It was 90 degrees, and then the next day, the first day of fall, it was 60.
Crazy.
Yep,
Like
and Friday morning it was 42 degrees when I left the house for work.
I had to kick my heat on, and I had that smell of like burning the dust.
Yep. I hate that
Yep.
smell.
Ugh.
Oh, I love that smell. That's one of my
Really?
favorite smells of the year. Yeah,
Oh,
dust
okay.
burning in the vents.
Well, I just bought a new furnace this year, so it was the first time we turned it on, so it was like...
Oh, so you
will
got
it work?
chemical smell too.
Oh, yeah, like,
Yeah.
the chemical smell from the air conditioner when we first had it put in was like, ugh, and then turned the heat on, it's like, fuck, I'm gonna get this again. Anyway.
You know what they make that I discovered a couple years ago? Although they don't work as well as you would hope, but it could be, if somebody could perfect it, it could be, I think, good technology. They make these like air freshener things that go on your furnace filter, so that as the air moves through your furnace filter, it picks up this air freshener smell and spreads it around the house.
So basically scented filters.
Yeah. Well, no, that's like a little clip thing that goes on it.
You know what?
But
we just bought our house, and when I changed the filter, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go. They had one
No,
put to it, and I was like, "Oh snap! I didn't even know they made these."
Yeah, it unfortunately I tried one of them. It doesn't work as well as you would hope it would, but hopefully eventually they'll be able to fix that technology, and then Ken, you wouldn't have to worry about the smells coming out of your furnace.
That's
Yeah.
true. Do you think they got the new house smell?
Oh man, that would be a good one.
Yeah, that's a good smell.
Like I feel like that'd have to be like the first one they perfect is the new house smell.
I'm a sucker for anything Apple. I'm a big fan of the smell of Apple.
Yeah, I could see that. I'd probably get McDonald's to see that make my house smell like a McDonald's.
Stale grease and regret.
And sadness.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, let's talk about video games because those are a thing. I will start with Terrence. What's up?
Wow, I have never gone first. This is a lot of pressure. Okay. Well, and like I said, I was happy that Anthony wasn't on the show today because I know it might have been last week even I talked about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and I didn't want to play it and wasn't going to mess with it, but then I played the beta and it was really good, surprisingly. So, a lot of changes that they've made that's going to be super controversial, I think, with the multiplayer community. But I think it's really going to affect just the people that, try to go 78-2 and want to get picked up by one of the FaZe clans or whatever hot esport team is out there. Because it just makes everything fairer for people. Like they changed the perk system, so it kind of levels up. So you have 2 perks going into the match, and then as you play the match, you'll get the third one, and then even longer as you go through, you'll get the fourth one. Um, and there was something else that I wanted to highlight, and I can't remember it, but whatever. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Um, Finishing up two games for review: the Metal Hellsinger and Tim. Metal Hellsinger is it's not bad. The rhythm stuff, it just, I don't know, it just kind of gets kind of gimmicky, I guess, or old after a while. And then it sucks because, like I said, I have like no rhythm, so I struggle trying to stay on beat. But it's not bad. But I think this is probably one of those kind of one and done games, unless you're a leaderboard chaser, because it's really big about score, and the leaderboards, like, it's present on every level before you go in. You can see who's the top and where they are and stuff. So for those people that like stuff like that, this will probably be for them. What else did I mess with? I played a little bit of the Dragon Ball The Breakers beta.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was even happening.
It's interesting.
So remind me again, is this the asymmetrical multiplayer game?
Yep, yeah.
Okay.
So you have, I think it's 7 survivors, like random humans versus one raider. And I think in the beta, the only one that I went up against was Cell. But I know when the game launches, it's going to have Frieza and I think Majin Buu as well. So it kind of plays like a battle royale initially. So the humans have to. The objective is because it ties into it. Back up. It ties into Xenosaga 2, which saw Trunks as a time patroller, and the character that you made, you go through time and fix stuff. If anybody played that, well, Trunks shows up in this in his time patroller role, and the story is your character got sucked into this portal and spit out here, and he's coming to help you. And the raiders, one of the bad guys from a different era and time in that universe, got sucked in too, and they're trying to destroy this thing. So in order for the humans or the survivors to escape, they have to build a time machine. Essentially, you have to find these 3 keys, power up this time machine, and then you can escape. So the battle royale part, you run around and there's a bunch of boxes and items that you have to search in to find stuff. And they have stuff that'll help you, like radar, that'll help you find the keys. It'll help you find other survivors that, are NPCs that you can rescue. That'll give you currency that allows you to, if you're brave enough, imbue a spirit of one of the Z Warriors, right? So Goku, Krillin. Why did I Krillin second? Wow, Vegeta. But yeah, just one of the Z Warriors, and you can fight the Raider. Can you beat them? No. So it's not like you're going to be like Goku and really dust, Cell with a spirit bomb or something. But it basically is like a delay tactic. So it has a meter of how long you can stay in that form, but you can attack him and stun him so that everybody else can kind of do stuff and you can still get away. It's not bad. It actually is a lot of fun. I think they did a good thing because I saw it's only $20, and that's, I think, the perfect price for this. Because I don't know how many people are necessarily going to be interested, but I mean, $20. I mean, if you like Dragon Ball Z and you like Left 4 Dead, you're probably more apt to jump on this. And if you're a fan, it's not bad. It's kind of fun. The last thing. Gundam Evolution. I played Gundam Evolution on PC because that finally came out. And it's funny, like I said, I was messing with you because you were playing Overwatch, and I'm literally playing Overwatch with Gundams, because that's what that is.
So when I was bitching about Overwatch on Twitter, like the guy that listens to the show, DJ Mitsuhara, I guess he now works for Bandai Namco. And when I was bitching, like every time he'd be like, "Dude, just go play Gundam. Just go play Gundam." I was like, "But it's on PC." He's like, "Console comes out November 30th." I was like, "Overwatch 2 will be out before then."
I will say, and I'm going to play both because I actually am kind of looking forward to Overwatch, because I did, that's the other thing. I did play some Overwatch, but I don't really need to talk about it because I'm sure we'll go into it, but I did play a little Overwatch too. But Gundam has more modes than Overwatch does. So, the base of Overwatch is the escorting the payload. Well, Overwatch Overwatch, the Gundam Evolution has a mode like that, but it also has like domination and from Call of Duty, it has like a destroy mission that plays out kind of like Counter Strike, where you have to, one team has to go blow up, an objective while the other team has to defend it, and a couple of other different modes. And it's not, how in arcade and Overwatch you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do. In this, you go to quick play and it's just random, whatever kind you get, which is kind of nice.
Well, that's Overwatch. Overwatch has 3 modes, which one of them is going away and being replaced in Overwatch 2, but,
With that push, is that what that?
Push is the new one. They're getting rid of 2CP.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to sell Overwatch short. It does have, you're right, it does have a bunch of different modes. I just, I haven't played it forever.
The payload is just the GOAT. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just the GOAT.
Well, it is. Like, that's that's what I'm saying. Like, that's like kind of what it's known for, right? Like, that's what that game is about, is pushing the payload. But yeah, Gundam is a lot of fun. They have a diverse range of Gundams from, the very beginning with the RX-78 to, the Unicorn Gundam, which I think that series came out a couple of years ago, and everything in between with, plans to add more later. It's free to play. So, there's that. There's a battle pass, of course. Nothing on it looked like it was something that was going to make it pay to win. It was just all, skins and stuff. And some of the skins on some of those Gundams look cool. I know they're very iconic, in their default statuses, but some of the stuff that the skins they have on there actually look kind of dope. So I mean, if you have a PC and you like Overwatch, I recommend it. Give it a try. But yeah, that's pretty much it when I played.
All right. Well, then I can move on to the Wombat.
All right, man. I ain't played nothing, which is great on a 3-man show.
Right?
No, so I mean, I guess so. I have played a little bit of stuff. I played some more Splatoon 3 in anticipation of finishing up my review on that. And yeah, I mean, my opinion really hasn't changed since the last time I talked about it. I still think it's great. I think it's the best Splatoon yet. I think, there's so many little quality of life improvements that, I'll give a couple examples, because I don't remember if I talked about these the last time I was on the show, but, so you have like the city hub or whatever, where you can walk around and go to various shops and go to the online lobby and, the Salmon Run lobby and all that stuff. But if you want, you can just hit the X button and it'll take you into a menu where you can pick, I want to go to the shoe store, or I want to go to the apparel store, or I want to go to the Salmon Run place, and it'll just take you right there. You don't have to walk around the city if you don't want to.
That's nice.
Same way in the lobby. So the lobby, the multiplayer lobby, isn't just a menu. It's like an area you can run around in and just mess around, and there's like training dummies you can shoot and stuff while you're waiting on a match to start. And but there's like a little, I don't even know what to call it, a little room, I guess, where you can go into to actually select what mode you want to play and all that, but you can also access that from a menu with the left bumper button. So it's nice that they give you that option if you don't want to walk around. I will say yesterday I was playing it, and I was in the Splatfest. For people who haven't played Splatoon before, Splatfest is basically you pick a team. And so this time around there are 3 teams. The theme is what would you bring to a deserted island? And the 3 options are gear, so like sleeping bags, flashlights, stuff like that. Grub, so food, and fun, so things to do for fun. And so you pick what team you want to be on, and then you compete in matches, and you kind of level up within your team in addition to getting your sort of overall level up. The one thing I'll say, though, is I noticed yesterday that it was a little slow to get in matches. It was taking me, and I noticed this the other day, too, but I assumed it was just because I actually don't even know what I assumed it was, because you would think if it was new, the time would be fast. But for some reason, the time didn't really hit me as an issue until yesterday, even though I've been seeing the same thing since launch. But maybe I was just too impatient yesterday. It was taking me like 60, 70 seconds to get into a match, which doesn't feel like a long time. But when the matches are only 2 minutes long, you spend half the time that a match would take just waiting for the next one. And so hopefully that will get straightened out as the game gets a little bit older and they find ways to improve the matchmaking. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it definitely felt too long when I was playing it. That said, the actual gameplay itself is a blast. Salmon Run is a lot of fun. That's the horde mode kind of thing. The big news for that is that you don't have to wait for. So in the last game, Salmon Run was only unlocked during certain periods of the day. Now it's unlocked whenever you want. You can just go play it whenever you want to, that mode's fun. It's your basic horde mode. You kill enemies, you kill bosses, you collect golden eggs, and you have to take the golden eggs back to this basket. So yeah, that's fun. The single player, again, as I mentioned before, is tremendous. So yeah, if you liked any of the other games, this is a must play for sure. Other than that, I played a little bit more Cyberpunk, not much, but a little bit more. Again, I want to finish that so I can move on to Deathloop. That's the next one that I want to play.
Deathloop.
So good.
And then I'm trying to think if I really played anything other than that. I think the only other thing I played other than that is Survivor IO, which I play every single day and am hopelessly addicted to.
Yeah, I do that too now. Thanks so much.
Yep, you're welcome. Well, they just had a big update yesterday too, so they've
I
got new
haven't played.
stuff. Yep. So they got new stuff in there to addict you. So there's like a daily challenge and new gear and some other stuff. So
Nice. It is a lot of fun.
it is a lot of fun. Yeah, and I'm starting to get to a plateau in terms of difficulty, where I can sense now I'm deep into this game. And I of course have not spent a dime because I have a rule against spending money on microtransactions in mobile games. But I'm getting to a point where it's starting to feel like the game is saying, okay, you've been playing this for free long enough. We're going to make this super difficult in an attempt to entice you to spend money. So we'll see what happens. If it gets to that point, then I may have to find something else to play. But I would much, much, much rather them just charge for the game and not do the microtransaction shit than the microtransaction shit. And the difference is for people who might be thinking, well, why don't you just buy one pack of microtransactions and then it's just like you bought the game? Well, the problem is when they build it for microtransactions, you get caught in a loop. So as soon as you get to the place where you feel like you need to buy stuff to keep moving forward, you're stuck because you'll be buying stuff forever. As opposed to just, paying $2 or $3 for the game from the beginning and not having to worry about it. So, we'll see. We'll see whether or not I get to that point here in the next couple days. But yeah, I've been really enjoying that game. And outside of that, the hot topic in my house has been Slime Rancher 2, but I haven't actually played it. So my son's been playing it, and he loves it. So I get to hear all about the slimes and the new stuff that they have, but I haven't actually played it yet. So I can't speak to its quality. But
Yeah,
my son
it was
really loved it.
weird. It was weird when you told me that he had to play it via cloud because it's not on Xbox One. That's
Yep.
crazy.
You can't download it on Xbox One. You can only play it via cloud. So, so he's playing it cloud upstairs on his Xbox One because I've got the Series X that stays in our bedroom. So upstairs in his loft, he's got my old Xbox One. That's what he plays all his stuff on. So
2 years into the generation, we finally have games you can't play on the old machines.
Yep, which means that the the requests for a new system around Christmas time are probably going to increase. So, but yeah. So, other than that, I haven't played anything else. I'm looking forward to God of War next month, but other than that, my slate is relatively clear. So, like I said, once I finish Cyberpunk, my plan is to play Deathloop, and hopefully I can finish off Cyberpunk and Deathloop before God of War comes out.
Well, hey, I can tell you all about Deathloop because I played it on the Xbox. Not that I didn't play it on the PlayStation. I played it there too. That game is still very good. It's its own thing, which is you will know within like the first hour of that game if it's going to be your jam. It is very much a loop-based game. Like some people kind of want to label it as like a rogue style game, and I guess I can kind of see that, but it's more like a single-player game that you are, for lack of a better word, you're basically throwing things at the wall until they stick. So like you start off, and basically there's different areas you can go to, and each area is different based on the time of day. And the objective is that eventually you do this loop enough that you can do everything you need to do kind of in one run. And you'll do this by discovering where people are at what times of day. And eventually you'll figure out like, well, these two people are in the same place at the same time. I learned that so I can go there, knock both of them out in one shot. Also, I'm, collecting these upgrades. I'm collecting these guns. I'm, collecting this currency to be able to add trinkets to my guns and like, superpowers. Because, of course, it's an arcane game. So you'll get things like your leap and stuff like that. But I think what makes this game interesting outside of that is just kind of like the style. Like the characters are really good. The world's really interesting. It feels really good to play. And you don't necessarily mind going back and doing this stuff because it's always fun. So that kind of helps a lot with that. But yeah, it's funny because this game is an Xbox published game and it's just now coming to Xbox and it's good. But like if you played this on PS5, it's the same game. Like there's no difference whatsoever other than a lack of DualSense features, which... take it or leave it, honestly, it's on both streaming services, so if you have both, play with the controller you prefer. It's all the same. So.
Yeah, I
go
love
ahead.
that. Well, real quick, because I totally forgot 3 games that I played, Deathloop being one of them, which I'm not going to talk about because I already reviewed it and have obviously talked about it. I love Deathloop. The one thing I will say about it this time is because when I played it originally, of course, I was up against an embargo date, so I had to kind of fast, get through it. Being able to take your time and explore. I've already found like a handful of leads that I did not find in my original playthrough. I've overheard some hilarious conversations and stuff that I did. Like there's so much in that game. And that's why, Ryan, when you were saying that you were hoping to finish it before God of War, you being the type, at least I think based off what you were saying, the type that likes to explore and stuff,
I am.
is big. And it might take you a while to be able to see. You don't need to see everything, but if you do, there's so much context that you'll get in the story. And even the experiences of some of the stuff and setting up some of it is just a lot of fun too. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
playing straight through the story and not exploring and seeing side content is not an option for me. And I don't say that as a like, oh, I refuse to play a game. No, it's just not. My brain does not allow it. So the way I am wired is built to seek out all of the side stuff and find all the little nooks and crannies and niches, which is why I only play like 4 or 5 games a year, because I end up finding all of the little individual pieces. So what, at least in terms of side content and story bits and any game that has like recordings or stuff like that to find that'll help you flesh out backstory, I'm all about finding all of that stuff. I am not a collectibles person. So, so stuff like the music sheets and stuff like that in Assassin's Creed. I don't,
Yeah.
or like the tattoos in Valhalla. I would get those if I saw one, but I don't go out of my way to try to collect all of them.
That's me. I do the same thing.
But for sure, like what do they call them? How do I not remember? In Assassin's Creed, the places where you climb up and synchronization points.
Synchronization.
Yeah, synchronization.
Yeah, those I absolutely have to get every single one, even if I don't need it, and all the side content and all that stuff. So I'm sure Deathloop will suck me in.
Yeah,
But
it will.
I mean, I've got a month and a half or so before God of War, so we'll see.
I feel like Deathloop is like I thought of you while I was playing it, because when you first start off, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, it drops you into the area at a specific time of day, and it's like, you just do whatever you want. When you're done with your thing, you can go back to the exit and end that time. But you can explore if you want. And at one point, I was exploring, and the game's like, yo, dude, move on, because shit's going to change. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool to explore, but you can come back whenever you want. The loop is infinite. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Because the tutorial, it is. The tutorial, like, hold your hand to a point, and that's where, so you were probably exploring, like, in the earlier bits, because, like, yeah, it'll start to tell you, like, no, you know, do this, because, you know, you could come back here, whatever, like, yeah. But it'll tell you once you reach you'll know when you reach the point where you can really, like, okay, I can do whatever I want now.
yeah, basically when it unlocks the multiplayer, that's when the game is open. So
Yeah. Have you done the multiplayer, Ken? I couldn't get any
No.
matches. I tried. Oh, okay.
I
You
don't
don't want to?
even. Well, it's cross-platform now, but I don't like. That's the thing I hate about Dark Souls. That's why I play it offline. I don't want some griefer coming into my game and ruining my play. I just don't. I don't. It's not. I get, like, some people dig it, but I have always hated it. If you can invade my game, I don't want to play your game. Like, period.
I got you. Fair enough. Yeah, that was the thing with when I reviewed it, is because I don't love the PlayStation controller for first person shooters. So I didn't
hate
like
it, yeah.
so I played like maybe 2 matches of the Juliana thing just so I could, you know, experience it for the review purposes. But I planned to really dig in now, but I couldn't. Like, I tried like 3 times over the weekend and couldn't find any matches, and I'm like, what the heck? It's cross platform. So
And it's free on both systems right now, which is weird. So
right. So I don't know. Maybe they had some sort of server issue. But okay, so the other 2 games, Slime Rancher, I played briefly. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what you're supposed to do in that game. Like, it puts you in it. It's like, I guess it briefs you on the story from the first game and why she is in this new islands, or this new place.
there's
And
a story to these games?
apparently, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually
But
quite a bit of story in the first game. It's not a game that spoon feeds you the story. You have to really seek it out and, like, find these hidden recordings and stuff like that.
that makes sense then.
It's a
Okay.
Dark Souls lore, like world building lore of
Pretty
Slime
much,
Rancher.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, there's definitely some story there. So
Gotcha. That makes sense, because that was my thing. Like, I didn't like, it doesn't really give you direction. Like, you get out there and it tells you, you know, this, you know, you get this slime, and if it eats this, and you get this pit thing or something, and you shoot it in
Port.
here, and you get
Yep.
port, yes, and you shoot it in here, and you know, you have this currency, and I'm like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do with that? It doesn't tell me what to do with that. And then, like, you could just run around. Like, I found luminescent slimes, I found chickens, and I'm like, well, am I building a farm? What am I supposed to do?
you're
So
building a farm basically, and
Okay.
you're basically building up your. It's got a little bit of Pokemon to it, where you can you collect different versions of the slimes, but then you can breed them, and, like, basically you can mix multiple, and you don't really breed them. You feed them plorts from other slimes to, like, make
yeah, that happened. Yeah.
cross versions. But
Okay.
you got to be careful, because if you feed them the wrong ones, they can turn into, like, I can't remember what they call them in the first game, but these, like, wild slimes that'll
Oh yeah,
attack
the
you.
bad guys. They talk about
Yeah.
that, the tars
Yeah.
or something. I can't think of what they're called,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and then you just try to your goal is to basically farm plorts, and then you
Mhm.
use those to upgrade stuff, and then you use the upgraded stuff to access different areas of the island and find new slimes and new kinds of plorts and stuff like that. So it's
Gotcha.
got a little bit of Metroidvania to it, But again, all of this is commentary from me based on the first game. I haven't played the second game, but I assume it's similar.
And I could tell you that it is, because in my brief, I didn't play it too long, maybe like 20 minutes, but running around the island, I did run into like places that were, well, you need this to do this, or you need this to unlock this area and stuff like that. So I can see the Metroidvania and stuff. And what you're saying now, it makes sense. So I get the loop of what I'm supposed to do now. Cause like at first, like I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, okay. It makes sense now. Okay.
And so I mean, the first game, really, I mean, it was an obsession in this household for a while. My son and I played a lot of the first game, and it's got a really kind of satisfying loop once you get into it. We played so much of the first game, as a matter of fact, that my son was upset, I'll say, that it was coming off of Game Pass. The first one was, because we had so much stuff in there. So we ended up buying it. We ended up buying the first game since it was coming off Game Pass, so we could go back and play it again if we needed to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that game, and my son does too. So
The
Okay.
Game Pass
I'm glad it got a
machine
sequel.
doing its business.
yeah,
Right.
I'm really glad it got a sequel.
All right. And actually, in the last game that I was going to mention, it was also on Game Pass. Was it Hard Space Shipbreaker? So I know.
I downloaded that game, saw what it was, and immediately fucking deleted it.
Did you? So
Yeah,
what-
that game is totally not my jam. I'm like, whoa, we got some grids and some like spreadsheet kind of managing. Oh, fuck this, I'm out.
So it's actually it's not too much like that. It's a lot like that game y'all were playing, the Power Wash Simulator, right? So like you get dropped in here, and they kind of explain the story of, you go to get this job in space of breaking down these ships and everything. But the whole thing, it's literally you tear apart a ship. So you get this like grappling gun, and you can pull, parts of the hull and stuff off. And then it has like this like pulse that you shoot, and you can, toss it, because there's no gravity, obviously. And it, goes into the bins. So there's a furnace for some parts. There's I can't think of what the other cargo thing is called for like the components you reuse for like lights and electrical stuff. And then there's another thing that'll break down certain metals, and you just have to, like, you can do a quick scan with your visor, and it'll tell you, what's what. But I don't know, it was as satisfying to me as, well, I think what the Power Wash Simulator was to y'all. And I think it's just because I'm a big space nerd. So it was just like, the only thing I would change about it is the music, because it's very country kind of space trucker music. And I'm like, we could do better than this. But like, just play, like it's a lot of fun. Like there's there's cut points that you have to cut on the ship, and then there's hazards. So like if you don't disconnect a fuel pipe before you like cut into something, there's explosions, and I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was something.
Yeah, the screenshots on the store show like spreadsheets type shit, and that's why I like deleted it. Like I didn't even boot it up. Like I downloaded it, and then I saw the screenshots when I went to the game card, and I'm like, oh, this is not my jam. No.
Nah, you should give it, because it is, because I think Drew said that it's like hard mode basically for the power washing game, because like this is you in space, so like you have to manage your oxygen and your fuel. Like the game gradually puts that kind of stuff on you. Like the tutorial was pretty generous, but like you'll have to go back to the thing to refill your oxygen while you're out there, and I don't know, y'all might actually like it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, and it's on Game Pass, so I mean it just costs you some time.
Yeah, that's true.
But okay, I'm done now. That's all. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Most of the rest of my stuff, there's a couple interesting things, but most of it's... So I did get on the PlayStation and check out, Siphon Filter 2, because Sony's just going to give me one fucking PS1 game every 2 months. And, it's Gabe Logan, Crazy Run. Siphon Filter was a good game.
It was.
So I played a bunch of the indie games. Like, literally none of them jumped out at me except for one, and I recommend you check it out if you get a chance. It's called Jack Move. So Jack Move is a cyberpunky kind of turn-based RPG, gorgeous pixel art. It's very straightforward RPG turn-based where like you can see that everybody's action bar at the top, the turns, whose turn is next kind of thing. It's all based around like computer lingo, so like you got your software, your hardware for your attacks. It's real charming, and I can't stress enough how good like the pixel art is. It's just really good. It's got this really like cool isometric view when you go into a battle. It's just a really neat game that is channeling a lot of the old school turn-based RPG stuff. So I really enjoyed that, mostly because of the pixel art, the color, and the style. Plus, it's really well written. Like I really enjoyed like the conversations going back and forth between the characters. So that was a cool one. I played some of Session. So I think I only like skateboarding games if they're like Tony Hawk, because Session just did nothing for me. So the best way to describe this game is to explain to you how it controls. So you've got kind of this like view from where the camera looks like it's looking from maybe behind your character from the ground, kind of looking up at an angle, and you use the X and the A buttons on an Xbox controller for each of your feet. So like if you press the A button, you'll tap your right foot. If you press the X button, you'll tap your left foot. You turn left and right with the triggers. So like if you want to turn right, you pull RT. If you want to turn left, you pull LT. You use the right and left analog sticks to move your character up and down. So say you want to do an ollie, you hold down on the right stick and flick up on the left stick. So already my brain is completely confused.
I was just about, you lost me. That's you the triggers to go left and right. I was like, and about.
Yeah, like I'm sitting there playing the tutorial.
That's way too much.
Yeah, like I'm playing the tutorial and there's a part where you have to grind. And in order to grind, you have to use the A button to kick to get the speed, hold down on the right stick, flick up on the left stick, and then turn the left stick left and the right stick right to turn your board, and then land on the bar, and then grind off of it.
No.
Yeah.
That's
like my
way
brain
too much.
the entire time, like I failed that grind mission like 15 times. I'm like, okay, if I'm failing the tutorial, this game ain't for me.
Right, yeah. Man.
So yeah, no, I did not enjoy Session at all. I'm sure there are people out there that would absolutely freaking love it, but it is not for me.
Is this different than the new Skate game, or is this what Skate turned into? Okay.
This is a different game.
Okay.
This is actually published by Nacon. I forget the developer. And then the last game that I played that I'll talk about, besides Overwatch, because I'm gonna reminisce because it's the final week. Proteus. Proteus is the doomest fucking Doom shooter you've ever played. It's so good. It is straight up like, imagine if Brutal Doom was new, like if it was a new game. This game has a rockin' killer like death metal soundtrack. It is pixelated. It's using pixel art. The animations when you kill somebody are absolutely incredible. Big, chunky voxel pixels exploding. It's very gory. It's very much like that. Here's a level. Find the secrets, kill the enemies, collect the key cards to explore. Like, you bring up the map, and the map is this really cool, like, 3D area showing you all the locations and the secrets. This version also has, like, a level editor so people can create new levels. Like, if you've ever enjoyed a Doom game, you need to play Proteus. It is on Game Pass, so, barrier to entry is very low, but this game is visceral, and I think it's incredible, and I think everybody should check it out.
I will do that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Proteus I played it in early access, I loved it, and I'm like, it's one of those games that I'm not going to touch this till it's 1.0. Well, it's 1.0 now, so I'm going to go play Proteus.
All right, that's what's up. I didn't know it was on Game Pass. I know I saw y'all talking about it, but I didn't. Yeah, I'm okay. I will download it today.
And then Yes, I've been playing a bunch of Overwatch. This is the final week. It's a shit show out there. Like, I have not had this
God,
many
it is.
leavers. I have not had this many people leave competitive games since the game was in like its biggest like popularity run. Like, people are just constantly leaving games. People are throwing games. The chat is just vile right now. I had one of my favorite moments last night where we were playing a comp game. I was running support, and the DPS on my team was just like constantly typing in chat like healer gap, healer gap, healer gap. My healers don't heal. My healers don't heal. We get to the end of the game. The cards come up. I have most healing from both teams.
Nice.
So I'm like, this is clearly not a healing gap. I think
Clearly, that's
probably
you, guy. Right.
So, but yeah, it's kind of bad right now. I keep saying I'm going to quit, and somehow I keep ending up playing more matches. Like, I don't know. It's a week. In a week, this game is gone. So, and we talked about it. Where I guess we're all going to play once this week. I always love how Drew has talked about Overwatch. Like, every time he plays it, he's like, "God, this game fucking sucks."
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it, Drew. You're mad at the game.
Oh, that was funny. But no, I'm actually looking forward to playing with y'all. Like, because I only played I played a couple of matches this weekend just because I didn't want to get in there with y'all and be absolute ass, even though it probably will happen. I actually did pretty well as a support. I was playing Moira, and I was pretty proud of myself. So, I'm looking forward to it. Like, and the second one too. Like, half my house is actually pretty excited for Overwatch 2. So,
Yeah, I spectated your game. I won't critique it.
you totally can. Listen, I know I messed some stuff up because I was like, oh wait, I forgot. But and then like because she ended up being before I stopped playing, she was like my main healer. So I had her cooldowns in my head, so I knew when I could teleport and stuff like that. I don't remember any of that because I made moves that I would normally make, and I'm like, oh, I'll just teleport out of this. I had like 2 seconds left, and I was like, oh crap, I got killed. So yeah,
It was funny. Like, the only thing I noticed while I was watching you play is I was like, Terrence, you have orbs. You don't ever use your orbs. Like, every cooldown, use your orbs. Boom, 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 boom. Throw one, throw one, throw
yeah,
one.
I was not doing that
your
either.
Orbs. What's wrong with you?
I know I was not doing it. Like I said, I'm super rusty, but like I am looking forward to get back into it because I obviously I wasn't playing competitive like you, and I can only imagine what all that was. I was just doing quick matches, so but I it wasn't as bad as your what you had going on. But yeah,
Oh, dude, people in comp are so toxic, and I mean, you'll run into a match every now and then where you get cool people. Like,
Yeah.
there was a match yesterday where we were playing and somebody tried to pull that shit like, oh, healer gap, healer gap, healer gap. And one of the other tanks was like, dude, stop blaming the healers. And like,
Nice.
in between rounds, somebody said heal gap, and I don't ever chat in the type chat, but I had to this time because I knew it wasn't us. I typed it, they said heal gap. I was like, nah, kill gap. You guys ain't killing nothing.
nice.
And then
That-
sure
you
enough,
know what?
I switched and we won because I started killing on a healer. I was like, come on.
Nice. I didn't realize that and I guess it's because it's like crossplay with PC and stuff now. But I didn't. That was the other when I played it. I was like, oh, I can type on playing on
Yeah.
console. I didn't realize that you do that now.
Yeah. You get to see all the nasty chats that are
and
in
I
there.
did.
Like, that's why I won't let my son even watch me play it anymore, because I'm like, dude, you don't need to see this chat. There's all kinds of slurs and bad stuff going on in here. It's rough.
Right.
But no, this is it. It's weird to think that after 6 years this week, I will never be able to play that game in the form it's in right now. Ever.
You know
Game's
what?
Dead.
I give them 5 years, and they'll come back with Overwatch Classic, just like they're doing with all the World of Warcraft.
And you know what? I'll fucking play it. I can't help myself. I will fucking play it. The other game I'm playing I can't tell you about. I'm playing Let's Build a Zoo on Xbox, which is weird. I can't tell you about it because it's out on PC. It's not like you don't know what it is, but whatever.
I'm actually looking forward to that. It's on Game Pass too, isn't it?
Yes, it's launching on Game Pass this week. So
Cool.
But that's it. I expect this week is just going to be straight Overwatch because this is it I will not
Yeah.
get to play this game again, at least in the form that it's in. So I'm going to finish out this week, and then that'll be it. And then it'll be Overwatch 2 next week, and holy shit.
Do they have any, and you may or may not know this, do they have any like plans for, since they're shutting down the server, they're going to do something like big, grand, like I don't know what they could do, but, something cool, some like ceremony or something?
I don't know if they'll do anything. If they do, it's going to be small because, like I said, that title screen change was the first thing I'd even noticed. Like, they did the loot box thing a couple weeks ago where they opened everybody's loot boxes. They canceled the purchase of loot boxes, like you can't buy them anymore. They completely opened up the store, so all past skins that you couldn't get, you can now just go buy until the new game is live. I don't know if they'll do anything. I tell you what would be really cool is to get people excited is like one thing Overwatch never did, and it happened like maybe 5 or 6 times the entire time that game was running, was a double XP weekend. Like they just never did that. And I don't know why, because it always brought people in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if they'll do anything. I doubt it, because at this point, that game is like a week away.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, because I'm not really in the know of Overwatch stuff. I figure if they had announced something, you probably would have known about it. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, the only big thing they did was they flew a bunch of creators out to look at Kiriko, and then that burst came out, which was overshadowed by the Battle Pass stuff. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've got to say something. The game's launching next week.
Right.
But anyway, let's talk about what's coming out this week. Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, FIFA 23 Ultimate Edition, Grounded 1.0 is out this week.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Moon Scars, World of Outlaws Dirt Racing, Tip Top Don't Fall, Brewmaster, Let's Build a Zoo, Work From Home, Arrowheart, Blade Assault, Bunny Park. I don't know what any of these games are, by the way. Lemon Cake, My Little Pony, A Maritime Bay Adventure, and Drew's Game of the Year, Paw Patrol Grand Prix.
Oh, shoot.
It's on Game Pass, too, so you know he's going to be playing it.
Oh, heck yeah.
PlayStation 5, anything different? Century Age of Ashes, Tunic, finally making its way over to PlayStation. Watcher Chronicles, Deathverse, Let It Die, Apico, Valkyrie Elysium, which you guys told me was coming out this week. I didn't even know it was coming out this week. I swear, man, I can't keep up with these games. That's it for PS5 and Xbox Series X. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Jesus, this list is huge. Let me click in here. I think most of this is the same stuff that was on Series X. We also got Moon Scars, Hako Life, The Legend of Heroes, Trails from Zero, Vegas Party, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous Limited Edition, Sam and Max Save the World, and Sam and Max Beyond Time and Space Remastered, finally making it over to PlayStation. The Diofield Chronicles on here, but that's already out, so that's weird. Isn't it? Isn't Diofield Chronicle
it came out. Yeah, it came out this week or
That's
last
what I
week.
thought.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Slaycation Paradise and hey, Trek to Yomi coming to PlayStation, which is cool. That's a cool game.
Yeah.
And Xbox One. I don't think there's anything exclusive on here because that's Xbox's bag. One Hell of a Ride. So, flip over to Switch. What's going on with the Switch? Anything?
Everything.
Pirate Poly Gold? I can't say that word. Caribbean Treasure. The Spirit and the Mouse. Gunvolt Chronicles. Luminous Avengers. IX2. Visitors from Otherworld. Life in Willowdale. Farm Adventure. Imagine that, a farm game. Penco Park. Life is Strange. The Arcadia Bay Collection. Cube. 10th Anniversary. Windstorm. Start of a Great Friendship. Frog Ice. Bullet Soul and Bullet Soul Infinite Burst, Burger Patrol, Carl, Casual Challenge Players Club, Crossroads Inn, a fantasy tavern sim, Despot's Game, Dystopian Army Builder, Dorfromantic, say that, Dungeons 3 Nintendo Switch Edition, Escapegoat, Fashion Friends, Funtasia, Hexseed Remore, Host 714, Martian Panic, Moon Dancer, Picross Series 8, Railgrade, Chiron the Dragon Girl, Toho Shoujo Tale of Beautiful Memories, Treasures of the Roman Empire. Yes, these are all coming out this week. This is crazy.
Good Lord.
Undungeon, Voodoo Detective, 8 Doors, Aram's Afterlife Adventure, 9 Clues 2, The Ward, Arrowheart, for some reason Bayonetta, I guess that's a digital or physical version of something, I don't know. Caffeine, Victoria's Legacy, Shotgun Farmers, and finally Sword Art Online, Alicization Lycoris, however you say that crazy game name.
Wait, didn't the first Bayonetta... Oh, I don't think it did come out on... It was Bayonetta 2, but it came with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't buy it separately.
So. Yeah. Okay. And also, you said they got a game coming out that's called Carl. If that is not starring Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, they're doing it wrong. Just saying.
Well, it's an acronym. It's CARL. I don't know what it means. Anthony's ass isn't here to look it up.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure he would have.
Oh, he'd already been looking up a bunch of this shit. That's just how he rolls. All right, that's all the new release. Jesus Christ! Last week of September, and then just think October's worse.
Yep.
So. All right, let's do some news. I'm going to kick off with the Cyberpunk resurgence. So the anime dropped on Netflix, and then the game saw more daily users than even when it launched.
And that's awesome. Like, I'm happy that they're having I don't know if this is a comeback story. I guess it is, because it launched in an abysmal shape for most people. So for them to, have everybody come back to it and embrace it, that's wonderful.
I think it's fucking hilarious. All of the influencers who got the free chairs are now I told y'all from the beginning. I'm like, that's because they gave you free shit. Shut up. I like Cyberpunk, but if you defended any part of it at launch, you were fucking shit. That game was baroque.
For sure. Because, I stopped playing. Like, I got to the point where I was, and I was like, I'm going to wait for the next gen patch, because this is just bad. Like, nah. But I'm happy that they've turned it around. I haven't watched that anime. I don't know if I don't think y'all are anime fans like that.
I want to watch it, but I think I grew out of my anime phase. Like, I loved it when I was in my teens, like late teens, early 20s. But, like, I couldn't even finish Castlevania, and I loved Castlevania. Like,
oh, it's so good. That show
was great, but, like, there's something about anime, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I got you. I can't do it like I used to, like watching everything like my son does now. But now it's just like the big stuff. Like, I'll watch this Cyberpunk. I watched Castlevania, like the stuff that I'm super into. But yeah.
I don't know what it is. I love Ghost in the Shell, but I couldn't watch that new one, like, at all. So,
man,
I don't know. The hacker who leaked all the GTA stuff has been arrested.
Nice.
Yeah, the irony in that statement is just hilarious to me. Like, he stole GTA. He committed a game theft auto. Yeah.
And got arrested for it. Busted.
Like, I saw people on Twitter, like, celebrating. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't work at Rockstar. Like, what do you care? Like, you just ruined his kid's life. I get it. What he did is bad and illegal. He should not get away with it. But, like, don't celebrate ruining a kid's life. It's fucked up. Over a fucking video game, of all things.
Right. Like, I agree. Like, it was stupid. It was childish. But, I mean, like, yeah.
It was
People-
childish, but he's also a child. So,
Yeah, exactly. Like,
right.
dude is 17 years old. Like, people on the internet, like, it cracks me up. I don't care which side of whatever fuck you land on. People on the internet are cruel, man. All of y'all are cruel. Like, you celebrate weird shit. You get excited for weird shit. Like, you know that thing you stress all the time? Like, there's a person on the other side of that username. Use that too. Like, practice what you preach. Like,
I think that's what it is. It's the fact, not even the anonymity of it all, but the fact that you don't actually see that person, right? That you're down and are talking about whatever. So I think it makes it easier for those people to act like that. And you're right. Like, the internet is cruel, like, more often than not.
yeah, I don't like this shit. Like, the people who were bullied in school are now the worst fucking bullies.
Yep.
I hate that shit.
That's what that is too.
Ted Lasso's coming to FIFA. I know Drew was excited about this, and this is weird. Like, Drew becomes more like an old man every day.
I saw everybody celebrating that, and I was just like, who is Ted Lasso? Like, what is, I don't know what.
It's a TV show on Apple TV that is supposedly really good. I haven't watched it. See, again, and then this is probably on me bad, but like when I see the internet like talking about how great something is, I usually just assume I'll hate it because everything I love, the internet hates. So.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't always happen. Like, I love Severance, and the internet loves Severance.
I need to start
But
that too, because yeah, you have talked about that.
that show is really good. Like, that was one of my favorite shows. Like, everybody talked about Westworld, and dude, I couldn't even finish the first season.
You know, I only finished the first season of Westworld. I started the second. I was like, and it's even still on. Like, I didn't realize it was still going.
Yeah, like I made it. I literally am halfway through the final episode of Westworld. I've never finished it.
Wow. The first season was good. I mean, honestly, that's the only one I've seen, but I liked the first season.
I don't know. I'm weird like that. But yeah, Ted Lasso. Everybody loves him. He's coming to.
Yeah,
to
that's
FIFA.
cool.
Xbox secretly or not so secretly fixed the offline DRM. So if you remember when that was a big deal, when the service went down, nobody could play their single player games. They apparently patched that quite a while back, and people are just now realizing it. So take
Nice.
that however you will. EA Motive, the same team that's working on Dead Space currently, is making an Iron Man single-player, third-person action game.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Like,
Yeah,
I guess we'll see. I'll just leave it at we'll see, because I don't know. First of all, it's Iron Man. We could have done somebody else. I think Iron Man he had games on the PS3 and 360. Were they great? No, they weren't. And I think he has a VR game. Like, we could have picked another hero, but whatever. And then Motive, did they do? I know they did the Squadrons.
The Squadron, they're working on Dead Space, and I think that's what they've done. It's a relatively new studio, I understand.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see, because I guess they're not even far enough along to actually show anything, because it was just like a generic kind of picture of Iron Man, wasn't it?
I think it was getting leaked. So
Oh, gotcha.
They just got out in front of it and said, "Hey, yeah, we're making this. We're obviously not going to show you because they're just going to show us Dead Space gameplay footage next month." So,
Oh, that's
we
right.
ain't
yeah.
even seen that game yet. So,
All right.
So the Insider was exposed. He is apparently a YouTuber who was breaking NDAs. That's not an insider. That's just being a dick.
Yeah. Like, flat out. Like, dude. And the way he got caught is so hilarious. Like, bro, really?
The most amateur way to get caught of all time.
Right? Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you have a separate device? Like, you can even put a sticker on it that says, "This is my Insider device." Like, I mean, what in the world?
Right.
People are cracking me up, man. Like the thing that cracks me up the most about this is why even do it? Like why
Want some clout?
But what the fuck is clout? Like what does that get you? Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like I don't
Sure don't pay the
understand.
bills.
Absolutely
No.
not.
No. It's like the people who brag to you and call you a loser because you can't beat them in Call of Duty. It's like, dude, put that on your fucking resume. What does that do?
Right.
I don't know, man. Like this whole this whole I'm gonna get on the internet and know something that you don't know and I'm gonna leak it and become Twitter famous for 20 minutes is ridiculous. I will never understand it.
Me too.
Logitech announced a new $350 streaming device called the Logitech G Cloud. Will support NVIDIA Now and Xbox Game Pass.
See, so I read that and I wonder who's that for? Because with Game Pass already on your phone, and I think the NVIDIA Now you can use it on your phone too. And I mean they have controllers that you can attach to your phone that essentially make it, easier to play. Why would I spend another $300 and something for a device that's solely going to do that? Where I don't know. I don't know if they're going to find a market for that. And then you could spend like $50 more and get a Steam Deck, and that could do that and more.
Or you could just buy a Switch.
Or buy a Switch. There's that too. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess
It's
that's
weird.
one of those we'll see.
Yeah, it's weird. I think, and not to circle back around to a point I made earlier, but you know who was talking about this and like saying it was a good thing was all the people that Logitech sent a free one to.
Imagine that. That's crazy how that works. Huh.
Y'all motherfuckers ain't hiding anymore. Like everybody else who didn't get one was like, who is this for? And everybody who got one was like, thanks to Logitech to sending me this awesome device.
Yeah. This is the best thing. Okay.
Okay, sure. Okay. Like Phil Spencer was pushing it because he's
that's right.
partly involved with it.
Yeah.
Like I know Phil's probably one of the better people in the industry, but he still is that dude. He still wants your money. So
Yep.
People crack me up, man. All right. Twitch getting themselves in all kinds of trouble. So they removed gambling. Also, they're changing the revenue split. So creators who used to make over 100K would usually get 70-30. Now Twitch is removing it to 50-50 to pay for streaming on Amazon, which last I checked, Amazon owns Twitch.
Right. That's that's another thing. I read that dude's press release and I was like, bro, what?
The business is weird, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know. Like it was, first of all, it was an epically long thing. And I mean, I guess to their credit, they broke it down. And I didn't know a lot of that stuff about how those creators were paid. And I guess really nobody did because he said that wasn't a public thing. But, I don't know. Business is weird. Like you said, I don't know.
I think my favorite part of this is always like, this immediately spawns like 4,000 streams and YouTube videos of like, Twitch is dead, Twitch is dying. Where y'all gonna fucking go?
Right. Actually, I saw everybody was like, well, we're just going to go, everybody's going to go to YouTube because they give you 70-30 and the quality is better or something. I don't know all the ins and outs of all that, how all that works. But yeah, so I guess there's going to be a mass exodus. There probably won't be, but
No, there won't. Twitch will give them some money behind the scenes and they'll stay there if it's a big enough streamer. So I don't know. This whole world now of this whole thing. This is old man yelling at cloud, but seriously, it's just weird to me.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, Donkey. If anybody knows who Donkey is, he's launching an indie game publisher called Big Mode. You know what? Good on him.
Yep.
I saw this, and my first reaction was, I don't know who that is.
That was great. That was mine too.
Donkey.
I was like, Donkey? Who is Donkey?
He's actually really funny. If you've never seen one of his videos, I recommend you go watch it.
Okay, but
He
I
has a
don't,
pretty-
I don't know who or what he is. So is he like just a streamer or?
Yeah, he's a streamer, YouTuber.
Okay.
He's like he's got a what do you call it? He's got a shtick.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, don't they all?
Yeah, I mean, his videos are all kind of the same thing, but they're really well done, and he is really genuinely good at critiquing, and he's really good at comedy. So, reminds me a lot of when Zero Punctuation was huge.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, like that. Which, by the way, he's still around, just nobody talks about him. So,
Oh, I didn't even realize he was still around. Because I liked his videos.
yeah. Like, remember Asking Ninja? Well, I'm going way back to the beginning of the internet now.
Yep. I remember that.
Jeez.
I do too. But
All right.
okay, so he's
No, go
funny. Can he actually make a game though? Because those don't sound like
Well, he's
qualifications
not-
to open up a publishing company.
Well, he's not making them. He's just putting the money behind to, like, fund games he is interested in, kind of thing.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's
Okay.
not a developer. He's not Dr. Disrespect here. He's not making the game.
Okay. I must admit, I thought he was actually, and I'm like, well, what the heck? Because if that's the case, then I'll start a company. I mean, I don't know anything about it either, but yeah. Okay.
Well, the difference is Donkey got a lot of money.
Well, yeah, that would be, because
So-
when it left my mouth, I was like, I don't know what I would start it with. I guess the shed out back. I don't know what I'm going to do.
They go find me a corner in my house and hammer
Right.
out the next Call of Duty. Because I can do it better than they can.
Oh, you know it. And that, oh God. So I was looking at real quick Twitter today, and that's the comments about the Call of Duty betas. Everybody, well, I'm sick of the Call of Duty developers doing this and that, and they cut the balls off, and we can't do this, and I can't do that. I'm like, well, bro, then make your own game. Like, I don't understand. Like, what? Anyway,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. He's, I don't know, man. This is a weird world. Video games are weird. New NVIDIA cards. They
Oh,
big, they expensive, and according to NVIDIA CEO, they ain't getting no cheaper.
That was perfect. That's it. There's nothing else even to be said on that. Like, I
you know
won't
what
be getting one.
Yeah, the biggest thing I saw on Twitter discourse about this was like, who fucking needs this card?
Yeah.
Like, I saw people out there running what I'm running, like a 2070, and they're like, I'm good. Like, I haven't even upgraded to a 30 series, so
Yep.
I don't
And that
know, man.
card is huge.
it's
Like-
huge, and it's also, like, what the big card's, 1,700?
1,700. Yeah. And I'm like, no. And there's like I saw today, there's on the One Maker, because, they go out to partners who produce the cards. One of them has this black obelisk like stand that you put on your motherboard that helps support the weight of the card. And I'm like, what? So we had to build something extra? Like, it just seemed like that's too much.
It's all that practice you did in Bridge Constructor to make your video cards sit.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
It all comes together.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know that there's a lot of people out there who are very much like, oh, the PC, and that's cool. Like, I'm into, like, when you enjoy things like that, but, like, I'm so glad I buy a new console, like, every 7 years.
Yeah.
And just be done, because this stuff is getting out of hand, like how fast it's upgrading, and people are like, oh, this is gonna push PC past console. Like, PC's always gonna be past console for the assholes who spend $1,700 a year on a new video card.
Exactly.
Of course it is. Like, if it wasn't, there would be a problem.
Right. Right.
Anyway, I don't know, man. Like Anthony said in the Discord chat, like, they're going to price people out of these hobbies. Like, truly.
Yeah. Like, that's especially with the price of everything else going up. Like, man, you ain't gonna be able to afford to build a PC if you got to afford to live.
I know, right? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I see these influencer guys on Twitter, like, talking about how broke they are while buying the new iPhone 14 and ordering a
Right.
goddamn Tesla.
Right. Right. I crack up I'm like, bro, you don't even know broke. Like, shut up. Like, man.
Broke is when you can't pay a bill.
Right. That's broke.
Not when you
Not because I
can't.
couldn't get a Tesla. What in the world?
Not because I couldn't afford to fly to Florida this year.
Yeah.
Being broke is when you can't pay your phone bill.
Right.
Oh shit. There was a video floating around this week of Microsoft CEO. I just had his name on the tip of my tongue. What is it?
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Sadia. I
Is
don't
it
know how to pronounce
Sadia?
his name. I
God
don't want
damn
to
it.
butcher it.
It's not that I want to butcher it. I'm mixing up the letters in my head.
Oh,
Satya Nadella. That okay.
yeah.
My brain was wanting to call him Satya Nutella, and I'm like, that's
That's
wrong.
what I was thinking. Yeah, see?
I'm like, why are the letters in my head going away? But there's a video of him floating around the internet where they were doing an interview with him, and the look on his face. If you've not seen the video, go watch it. The look on his face when he says, we're number 4 or 5 in gaming, and if Sony wants competition, then let us compete.
I've heard a lot about the quote, but I have not seen the video. I'm going to have to look it up.
You just got to see the look on his face of like, this shit's going to happen. We're Microsoft. Deal with it. So, I don't know. It just cracked me up the way he said it. And then like, oh man, the internet got ablaze.
Yeah, I saw all that. I saw all the fallout and stuff. And I think we talked about it. We probably have talked about it like every show. Honestly, I'm so tired of this deal, and I just want it to be done, or don't let it be done. I don't even care at this point.
I don't give a shit.
Like,
It doesn't change where I play video games, like at all.
exactly. It's not going to change anything. Like, whatever, man.
The only time that I will ever get upset at these deals, and even to me it doesn't mean anything because I own all the consoles, but I absolutely fucking hate when companies buy these games and then they take them off of other platforms that have been there for years. Like, Microsoft taking the Bethesda stuff away. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, Bethesda games have been on everything since the beginning of time. I didn't like it when Sony paid Street Fighter to only be on PlayStation. I don't like it when they paid for Final Fantasy to only be on PlayStation. I hated it when Microsoft paid for Tomb Raider to only be on Xbox. I hate all of it. The only time I didn't hate it was when Nintendo paid for Bayonetta, because otherwise it would not have been made.
Yeah.
There's a
You know what?
difference.
Yeah, I was pissed off about that. Or I won't say pissed. I was upset about that until I actually rationally thought about it. And you're right. And I was like, you know what? They actually put up the money to make it. Nobody else was even going to do it. So
Yeah,
good on them. Because,
if you're going to pay to make a game that wasn't going to get made, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If you're going to pay to keep a game away from other gamers, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Oh, the final news story I got is a quote from Shuhei Yoshida. Remember when he was big in PlayStation and then he got demoted to just doing indie games? Well, now he's made a comment. He's like, putting new games on our PlayStation PP doesn't make sense because, they need to be full price games so they continue to be the quality that they are. I get what he's saying. I understand it. You're setting yourself up for disappointment if you can't continue to make games at the level you're making them right now.
Right.
So maybe just don't say anything.
Yep. Like, I mean, you could have just kept that quote to yourself. Like, yeah.
Like you're already scraping the roof when you charge $70 for Returnal. Game wasn't $70.
Was it 70?
Yeah, every first party PlayStation 5 game is $70. I don't care what it is.
I thought it happened after Returnal came out. I didn't realize, because I thought Returnal was a budget game. I didn't know it was
$70. Last of Us
Whatever.
remake, $70. That game is not a $70 game. Some games are not $70 games, and Sony is just going to blanket price first party games at $70. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Be careful. It's just like you fighting with Microsoft about this Activision thing. Be careful you do not. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I just and it from a business standpoint, I mean, Microsoft had. I mean, they could outspend Sony if they wanted to, and maybe that's what dude is trying to say, but not say. Like, we kind of have to put our stuff out at this price because we kind of need the money. Like, they can't float stuff maybe as long as Microsoft can because they're a bigger. I don't know. It goes back to business being weird, is what it is. Like, I don't know.
I don't think Microsoft is the company that you want to poke the
Poke
bear.
the bear. Yep. I've said that to people. Like, Sony really needs to stop poking this bear because Microsoft go fuck around and buy half of Japan. Like, y'all need to stop.
That's the other part. Another thing I saw about that this week is like Sony could poke that bear when Microsoft CEO wasn't behind that division.
Oh, yep, yeah.
But now that Satya is behind this division, this is not the bear you want to poke.
Right, because he definitely he's all in. Like, you need money? God, come on, we'll move some stuff around. Y'all go ahead. Yeah, he seems they want this fight. That is what they want the smoke. So Sony needs to calm down.
Yeah, I don't want to see anybody dominate everything. And
Right,
as much as I love my Xbox, I don't want Microsoft dominating. You saw what happened when that happened.
Yep.
That was some bad shit. I don't want that. So, anyway, that's all the news that I've got for this week. I do have some emails. Pull up the first email. It's from Adam. Get this out of my way. All right. So Adam sends an email, says, timestamps. Kia ora, I found interesting that one of the hosts last week mentioned skipping over the Overwatch chat before becoming a host. I'm not going to lie. I do the same thing. I also skip the Nintendo releases because Pokemon is all I enjoy from the console. Any chance you could do timestamps to the show? A lot of podcasts do it these days. It's very helpful because I'm sure a big portion of the listeners don't want to miss out on the beautiful chatter while power skipping the Overwatch chat. I mean, I feel attacked every week. We talked about Two Human and Two Worlds much longer than we talked about Overwatch. If people don't come out about those...
You want to talk about Two Worlds some?
Because you know what, I can't do that conversation, but we could do Two Human because I like that game.
That game is excellent.
It is
it's so good. And if you didn't like it, it's because you were playing it wrong.
Exactly.
Ask Ken. Ken knows. Ken was playing it wrong.
Were you really?
That is a legitimate thing. Like when I played it and I didn't learn how to play it, I hated that game. And then as soon as I learned how to play it, I was like, "This is a pretty good video game."
Oh wow! Yeah, I liked Two Human. I would have liked to see that because it was supposed to be a trilogy, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
One of these days, we're gonna get 2 Human, 2, 3 Human, and I'm gonna be excited.
Human.
We're going to get it the same day we get Advent Rising 2, Ryan.
Dude, ain't nobody wants Advent Rising.
Ain't nobody want 2 Human.
I like Advent Rising. Damn. Okay. Well,
not
fine.
another one.
That's right. Now you're outnumbered. What are you going to do now?
Right.
Dude, Orson Scott Card doesn't like Advent Rising, and he wrote that shit.
Hey, you say a lot of things about Orson Scott Card.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can.
I don't. Can you do timestamps on an audio file? Like I know you can do them in YouTube.
Well, because your file that you put on YouTube is still a video, even though it's an audio file. So it's still you would just put the time, and it turns it into a link, and then when they click it, it'll just go to it. Like I'm pretty sure it'll work.
Yeah, and in the podcast app, you could just put in the description like we started talking about consoles, or we started talking about fondling at this point. We started talking about news at this point. We started viewer stuff at this point.
Y'all want to make me do more shit?
Oh, you're talking about I got you for the RSS. I got you. I was thinking strictly YouTube bit. Okay,
YouTube. I did it one week just to test it, and it worked. But do you know what it's like scrubbing a 2-hour episode to find when we started talking about something?
Yep, I did it for when I had a podcast with my friend, and he wanted to do timestamps, and I was like, bro, that's a lot of work. But I did it. It is.
It's a lot of work, dude. Like, I already, pull audio files together. I mix them. I load the files. I create a video. Like, I'm already looking at like 3 hours worth of work for every week of this podcast, besides being on it. Fuck y'all do. Subscribe to my Patreon.
There you go.
No. He says, P.S. I'll look into how much work it is, and I'll try. I know it sucks to listen to the Overwatch conversation. I try not to talk about it as much as I can. It's just a bad time right now for me to not talk about it because there's a new fucking game coming out. He says, P.S. I also loaded up Assassin's Creed after 2 weeks ago. Odyssey is amazing. Cheers for the tip to save the cultists till last. I see there is a British Creed game. Was it any good? Before you guys praising the games, I had skipped the games since number 2, so I know nothing about it, but it sounds like a theme that's up my alley, being from New Zealand and all.
Is he talking about Syndicate?
That's the British one, right?
Yeah, I couldn't remember if, well, Ryan will probably know more than mine. I couldn't remember if there was another one, because I missed, I think, some of the offshoot ones, but I don't know if any of those were British. But I know I liked Syndicate. Evie is my favorite character in that game. I think she's just edged out by Cassandra. But yeah, I liked Syndicate a lot.
The spin-offs, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, were China, India, and what was the third one?
Russia, I think.
Yeah.
The side-scroller one?
Yeah, the side-scroller one. Okay, Russia was the third one. Okay, so it is literally the only British one is Syndicate, right?
The only, well, I mean, Valhalla takes place in England, but
Oh, yeah,
it's
it
not.
does.
That's pre...
Yeah.
Yeah. When it was still... Everything was still Worcestershire.
Yeah. Oh, God. The names of that map, Lord.
And this Assassin's Creed chat sparked with the second email comes from Antonio, who says, all that talk about Assassin's Creed last week made me hop back into Valhalla
Hey.
since I was only 30 hours in. I spent the first hour back into the game frustrated because I tried to do 2 Ravensthorpe side missions and both were glitched, and loading a previous save multiple times didn't help. So I continued with the story a bit and did some exploring, padded on an extra 10 hours, and hopefully I don't get sidetracked. It's definitely good, but I enjoyed Odyssey and Origins more.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't run into any mission glitches, so that's a shame. I hate when that happens.
Yeah. It sucks because it ruins your enjoyment of a game, truly.
Yep. Yeah, so as I've said before, I love different things about all 3 and could make a case at any given time about each of the 3 of them being my favorite of the trilogy. So I think any of the 3 is a good choice for me. I am glad to hear several people, because I've seen it a couple places on Twitter as well. After the Assassin's Creed conference, some people went back to Valhalla, and I'm pleased to see that some folks are going back to that game and finding more enjoyment in it. So
Yeah, it's
I
really good.
really
Because
enjoyed
I'm
that
one
game.
of them. Yeah, it's good.
I'm back in Odyssey, and I gotta say I'm pretty happy going back to Odyssey. I've been doing the Atlantis stuff. I finally made it to Elysium, and Jesus Christ, that is beautiful on a Series X. Damn.
Oh, I can't wait to go back to see that. Oh,
I
I
believe
can't
it
wait.
because it was beautiful on Xbox One, or PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't get over how good that area looks. Like, when you climb up to the top, and the way that area is designed is like it feels like a big island with a bunch of giant pillars, and you climb to the top of them and you just see these huge valleys of green grass and clear water. It's just gorgeous. I really hate the enemies, though, that steal my meter in that area.
Yeah.
Those dudes piss me off. The statues that come to life and shoot the fucking gold beam at me. Fuck those dudes. All right, the second half of his email says, I had Baconator fries yesterday from Wendy's, and I'm surprised this is my first time eating them. I thought they were pretty good, along with the value menu chicken sandwich I had. I think I order premium fast food burgers less than 10% of the time. It's always a couple of double hamburgers with mayo, or the cheap chicken sandwiches with medium fries. By the way, either I'm tripping, or the price of fries has went through the roof, probably due to inflation and lower crop yields and possibly the war in Ukraine.
I don't think he's tripping, because I think I have noticed that fries has become more expensive.
Dude, I was having a conversation with my wife and my son the other day, like, we got McDonald's, and I went to McDonald's, and I was like, dude, the fries are more than the burger.
Yeah, wow, I didn't realize that. Jesus.
Like, a large fry is like almost $4 now.
Wow. God.
And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. $4 for a large fry? It's crazy.
Everything is more expensive. Like,
Oh no,
geez.
man, I can't do this shit. I
You'll
can't
stop
afford
eating
my
fast food. Like, man,
I
we were
can't
like
afford my-
farmers.
I can't afford my Tesla.
I can't afford to swing through McDonald's and get a large fry in my Tesla.
I know,
Right.
right? Fucking thanks, Biden. Anyway, I got a couple tweets before we get out of here. Whew. Lunatic Priest says, "Hey guys, I just read an article on VentureBeat stating that 3/4 of gamers play multiplayer according to a Unity report. What do you guys think about the future of single-player games? I exclusively play single-player games, and I am definitely concerned."
I don't think single player games will ever go away.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, I know multiplayer is huge, and I can even say in my, you know, I'm trying. Lord, as I'm getting older, again, I'm trying to think of an epic way to say this. Like my enjoyment or love from like the multiplayer games have kind of gone downhill. Like I much prefer a single player game with a good story that I can dig into than playing, a match of Call of Duty or whatever for a little bit. Like I'll do that, of course, but I don't sit on it like for hours at a time like I would back in the day. Like I'd much rather put that time on a single player game.
Same. I play almost nothing multiplayer anymore. The last multiplayer game, I mean, outside of Splatoon, which I guess does count as a multiplayer game, but outside of that, the last multiplayer game that I tried to play was Halo, and I gave up on that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think we all
See, I did too. Yeah, and I'm like a Halo fan, and and that's what I'm saying. That's why I know, like my, it's my enjoyment of those is just going down. Like I can, my son will be like, "Let's play this." I play like a match. I'm like, "I'm out." He's like, "That's it." Like, yeah, I'm cool. Like I don't. It's just not. It's not where I'm at anymore.
Yeah, and
so I
what's
think
funny
single
is
player games.
my son and his friends almost never want to play single player games unless there's a multiplayer component. I mean, my son will play Slime Rancher, of course, and he played Elden Ring, but that does have a multiplayer component as well. But generally speaking, I'd say 75% of his gaming is multiplayer gaming. So I don't know if it's a young people thing or if it's the prevalence of Fortnite and Minecraft and all these co-op and competitive shooters being huge when they're young. When we were young, when we were their age, the big stuff was single player stuff. So
yeah,
it was until they actually got good internet, and then we were always looking for the next online game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When we were in our 20s, for sure.
Yeah. So
like
I think
LAN
that's part
parties
of it,
and
too.
stuff. That was
but I don't know how much of
like
that was. I don't know how much of that was novelty. You know what I mean? Because
Sure.
it we hadn't been able to do it before. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because it's not just the multiplayer part of it, but it's also like the stuff that comes along with it, like battle passes and skins and microtransactions and like Minecraft. A lot of kids play that, and it's technically online, but a lot of them play it solo. So I don't know. It's single player games aren't going anywhere, and you'll see that because like when EA is focusing on single player games, they're not going anywhere. So you can be safe in that. Sony kind of focuses on single player games, although they are ramping up live service games.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always going to be a place for it. So you don't have to worry about it. It's like people who freaked out back in, 2014 when everybody said consoles, this was the last generation of consoles. Nah.
Yeah. And you know what? Even like I think Microsoft was kind of making that kind of turn slightly, but definitely I think with their acquisitions where, they were kind of the place to go for multiplayer shooters, right? And now they're putting more effort into those single player stuff, like the RPGs and stuff from Bethesda and everything.
Yeah, it just bounces around.
Yeah.
Trends get big. Souls games are huge, Rogue games are huge. In 5-6 years, it'll be something else. Remember when battle royales were the bee's knees, and now there's only like one that anybody gives a shit about?
Yep. And everything was gonna have a battle royale oh my god.
Dude, they did so many battle royale clones that Ubisoft had 2 nobody remembers.
I only remember one. What was the other one? I remember Hyperscape. What was the other one they had?
Wasn't it X Defiant? That didn't ever even came out.
Oh, that's
did
right. Yeah, that one didn't even come out.
It? Yeah, cool. Well, No, single player games are forever. Like,
Yeah.
we'll talk about
Yep.
those games till the end of time. Multiplayer games, you'll talk about a handful.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and they cycle in and out so fast. You know what I mean? What's popular? There's very few that retain their popularity. Fortnite's the best example I can think of where
Fortnite, Call of Duty.
Yeah. my son and his friends seem to always cycle back to Fortnite eventually, at least for a short period of time.
Yep,
Yep.
100%.
That's-
There's
and that
always
is-
one game.
The hot game for them somewhat recently has been Rainbow Six Siege, but they cycle in and out of that too.
Man, you know what? It must be a youth thing because my son and his friends are the same thing. They'll be on Rainbow Six for a while. They'll cycle out. They'll go back to Fortnite. Then they'll say, we're never playing Fortnite again. Then they'll
Yep.
play Call of Duty. Oh, we're never playing Call of Duty. They'll go back to Apex Legends. Like, it must just be a youth thing. Because
Yep, those are the games.
bounce.
Because my son
like-
just said the other day that one of his friends keeps wanting him to go back and play Apex, and he doesn't want to go back and play it.
You know what game nobody ever cycles back to?
Overwatch.
Halo.
No, y'all motherfucker. Whoever said Overwatch can kiss my ass. Battlefield.
Oh, I don't know
yeah.
anybody that
Yeah.
plays Battlefield.
No.
Nobody ever cycles back to
No.
Battlefield.
I
I've
was good with the
accepted-
trial.
I've accepted that Overwatch is a game like, what's another game like this? Like, what's Warframe, where a shitload of people play it, but nobody talks about it. Like, I know that's what Overwatch is now. Like, Fortnite is the game everybody plays that everybody talks about.
Yeah. Wow, you're right. I never thought about that. You're right. Because there's a shit ton of people that play Warframe, but you don't never hear niggas be like, yeah, man, I got that Warframe. Like, wow. You're
Yeah,
right.
Warframe is huge, but nobody ever talks about it.
Nope.
So,
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, I see stuff about Warframe all the time, and I don't know a single person who plays it.
I know, right?
One of my son's friends. That's it. Because he always talks to me about it. Like, he's the only one that I know that plays Warframe.
It's crazy, man. There's a ton of games like that. Like Roblox. The only time you ever hear about Roblox is when it's in the news for some kind of shady compensation thing.
Not me, man.
Yep.
I get about 4 hours of Roblox conversation a day.
Well, that's because you have
Oh,
a kid.
yeah.
I'm the
Well, yeah,
same way,
my daughter plays Roblox. Actually, the older kids do too, because my 17-year-old plays it on PC, and I'm like, well, what is Roblox? Well, you can do all this, and I'm like, okay.
My son plays it on PC too. He plays it on both PC and Xbox, depending on what they're playing. But yeah,
Is it
that
crossplay?
game is still not
yeah, it's
on.
crossplay.
But it's still not on PlayStation or Switch, is it?
No.
That's fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like Minecraft, and it was everywhere.
No, it's only on PC and Xbox.
Yep.
Huh.
And well,
Okay.
not just PC and Xbox. You can play it on mobile too, iOS.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but mobile's not a real platform.
Listen, I spend most of my time playing shit on mobile, so
Right. I play
I
mobile
can't
games.
really say it's not a platform.
I know. I like poking the bear. That's what I like doing. All right. I got a couple tweets here before we get out of here. Shogun says, first off, thank you guys for the deep conversation about Assassin's Creed. Based on your details and Ryan constantly talking about the series, I was willing to play it. But since y'all had a 40-minute discussion about it, I've decided just to watch a breakdown on YouTube. Thank you again.
So there were a couple people who decided to start playing it after our conversation, and this person who said, "You know what? Your conversation was good enough. Thanks."
Yeah,
Right.
we're good.
I'll watch the summary.
Pretty much, right?
That's good.
He also says a streaming-only handheld that's $350 is DOA.
Oh, for
Why
sure.
not just get a Switch or a Steam Deck? I would love to hear you guys try to justify this device. We all have phones that can do everything and more.
Well, I just
There you go.
for my birthday, I got a Backbone controller for my phone, And
Oh, nice.
so you can do everything on my phone that I already have in my pocket at all times.
Yep.
So
I have the Rishi controller. I didn't do the Backbone one. I want to because I think those are better. But yeah, like
yeah, I got Turtle Beach is sending me the new. I forget what the controller's called, but it's basically a controller with like a phone port at the top for the Xbox Game Pass cloud.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna
I
test
saw
that
that.
out.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that 350 stream only. No, that is 100%. We already talked about it. It's 100% DOA. Like I don't know who that's for.
Yeah, I have no clue. It seems like such a mistake to put it out because it's expensive. And
Yeah.
I know Microsoft got behind it, but I can't figure out why. Because they don't have a handheld, but they just do the phone.
Yeah, I don't. That does. I was going to say maybe they're going to invest to have them build them a handheld, but again, why? You've already put so much infrastructure with the cloud stuff and the phone. Like it works fine. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to be interested to see the sales numbers of that when it drops.
I thought it already did.
Oh, I thought they just announced like pre-orders. Is this actually out?
I don't know. I know people have them. I mean, the influencers have them, but
Well, I'll be having to look. All right.
I don't know. You can probably just go on there and buy it. I don't know. Nobody's going to buy it. So.
No.
Anyway, that's all the emails, all the tweets, all the news that I have. If you want to tweet at us, it's at N4G Podcast. If you want to shoot us an email, it's podcast@ztgd.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I'm at ZTGD, Ryan's at WombatRP, and Terrence is at Lord Magnus. You can follow the site at ZTGD Content. Phoenix Down, I think, is finishing up Sinking City next week. And then they move on to the Yakuza 6. So, be able to check that out. I don't have anything else. I was trying to think if I watched anything. I
don't
swear
think
I
I have.
watched something. I forgot what it was. Oh, I watched Nope. That's what I watched.
Oh, did you? Well, I guess we don't want to spoil it. Did you like it?
I liked it. It definitely felt like it was all over the place about halfway through,
Yeah.
but he continues to hit. Like, I've liked all three of his movies. So
See, this one was probably the least of the ones that I've liked. Like it wasn't horrible. Like I was entertained, but I was just like, okay. Like my daughter and them were out because we all watched it. Was looking at me like I was crazy because like that movie was great, and I'm like, I don't know. It's just it wasn't bad, but
it's my second favorite. I think Us is my least favorite, but Get Out is the GOAT. Get Out is so good.
I still haven't
Get Out is
seen
good.
any of them.
Oh, you totally should.
what
They're-
are you?
I
Sir?
know. I don't watch movies, man. Like it's just
I
not.
got you.
It's just not something that usually happens. So
Well,
I've
yeah.
never been much of a movie person, to be honest. When I was younger, I would watch the same movies over and over and over again. But anymore, I mean, ever since I became an adult, I've just not been a huge movie person.
I was going to say,
Gotcha.
Ryan must have been tortured back when we used to go to the movies every week.
Well, it probably would have been better if you guys hadn't insisted on always going to the worst movies. Like, this horrible horror movie just came out. Let's go. And
To be fair, that was mostly led by Brian Peterson, and
no,
you know
I
it.
I know.
Like, I liked some of those movies, but you're right. Most of those movies were pretty
We went and
fucking
saw
terrible.
some of the worst movies. They were only
I believe
good
it.
because of us spending 80% of the movie making fun of it.
Oh,
Yep.
God, yeah. Most of them
that's
were
what-
so bad.
Yeah, when I worked at a movie theater, that's what we did when we screened movies and stuff. Like when we had to watch ones that nobody was interested in, like that was our agreement. Like if nobody wanted to see it, we would just sit and like just make fun of the movie, and it was the best experience because there's nobody else in the theater, so we were loud and it was so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's, we definitely saw some bad.
Oh, we saw some real bad movies. What was the...
and that's with Brian Peterson. I mean, he's the horror guy, so
He
yeah,
is
I
the
can
horror
only
guy,
imagine.
yeah.
The Collector, you probably saw that. That wasn't good.
We saw... what was the horrible one? Was it The Fog? The Fog. The
The
remake
Fog
of The
is
Fog
pretty-
with the dude
Oh,
that
the
played
remake?
Superman.
Oh,
Pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was bad.
Man, so many of those. Remember when Saw got really popular, and then every movie we went to see was just another fucking gore porn movie?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hostel.
Hostel was
Hostel,
so
yep.
bad.
Terrible.
And then it got a sequel. There was no Hostel did not even need to be made because it was just what did you call it? Gore porn for the sake
Yeah.
of. Like that's all it was.
Like people thought that like and yeah, it's true. A lot of people went to see Saw because of the gore.
Yeah.
But that movie was good because the story was fucking excellent. That's
Right.
That's why that movie was good.
And you know what? The only thing, because I wanted to say this when we talked about Saw a couple weeks ago. The only thing that I wish about that series is honestly, I could have done without all the gore. Like the first movie is so perfect because it's not so in your face with all the gore. So you only see like flashes of different stuff. I like that. Like I wish they would have kept that throughout the thing instead of trying to up themselves with being more dramatic of stuff. But yeah, it's just me.
That's what the audiences needed. They needed you to go to the next level for them
Yeah.
to talk about it, and that's what ruined some of those movies. Like I still like the fact that they got to continue the story throughout them regardless is why I love them.
Oh, me
But
too.
you're right.
I love the story.
Like
Yeah.
that fucking let's get grosser this movie.
Yeah, like they try to one up them, and you know what? It's a business, so I guess you have to do that because it's the same way with like video game sequels, right? You got to add more stuff. But I wish I would have loved to see a version of that where the story continued, but it kind of kept the same vibe and feel of the first movie. Like I don't know. I love the first Saw. That is my favorite Saw movie.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that James Wan was coming back for the new one, so I might be excited
Oh.
about that because he only did
Yeah.
the first one. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I've got. If there's nothing else, then I'm going to go get a motherfucking pizza and watch my Raiders get their ass stomped again.
Good luck.
Best of
Hey,
luck to them.
0-3 is where we're going to be after this week. We're just fucking done.
Who are they playing?
I'm playing the Titans.
Okay.
Dude, they had a 20-3 lead last week in the fourth quarter, and they lost that fucking game.
Oh my. How? What?
Dude, that's the Raiders. If you think we're going to win, you're wrong.
Well, good luck to y'all, man.
Ugh, it's embarrassing, dude. Like, ugh. Miserable. But no, I'm gonna get a pizza, watch some football. Luckily, they're playing the early game. They're already getting their ass kicked 14-3. So at least my stress and blood pressure will be over before 4:00. So
There you
we're
go.
good.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyway, that's it for the show this week. So if nobody has anything else, we'll get out of here. Peace, bitches.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G podcast. $0.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
GathersCon.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
I always live being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.